Oh, hello wild ones. It is a beautiful spring day in early May and I'm out in some English woodland under this gorgeous green canopy to have myself a nice relaxing hammock camp tonight. It's been VE Day and St George's Day recently, so I thought I'd make this one nice and England themed. I've got myself an English tea party for my dinner. Come join me. Look at that. I can't handle my drink. It's pretty spooky and cool. Finally a sensible drink. Hey guys, so I love a nice, comfy, cozy hammock camp, but I always feel very visible hanging from trees, so I don't do it very often. This is my DD Superlight hammock. Bear with me, I'm not very experienced with hammocks, but hopefully we'll be able to get ourselves a half decent lay. So I've got floppy side bits, look. And I always do that. I think pretty much every time I try hammock, my sides flop down. And I don't know why. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Still comfy. Completely useless with a hammock, I tell ya. No idea. I gave up trying to sort the hammock out, whacked an under blanket on it. I think it'll be fine. And I've not seen anyone since I got here or heard anyone. So I'm not too fussed about staying really low profile now. I've decided to put a nice tarp up in a plough point. Not in a traditional configuration over the top of my tarp because I'm not expecting any rain tonight and that will just get in the way of one of my favourite things, which is to lay in a hammock and look at the trees and the leaves. And I feel like it's made it really nice, like it's kind of transformed it from a normal hammock camp to a nice cozy little base in the woods. I'm getting pretty Marvin, so I'm gonna get this picnic laid out, I think. Look at that squirrel. Hey dude. Sandwiches. Sausage rolls. Oh yeah. Some salt and vinegar crisps. Strawberries. Scones. Or is it a scone? I don't know. What do you reckon? Clotted cream. A tiny pot of jam. More dark chocolate fingers. Who doesn't love a dark chocolate finger, huh? Tea with milk. And some pink fizzy Pinot. Look at that. That's a nice little spread. I bought 2 of these. Only 2. And they're only really dinky because I'm a massive lightweight and liability. Cheers! I'm gonna start with some sandwiches. Got nice chicken mayo sandwiches and some crisps and all that stuff. And then I think I'll make a cup of tea and have a nice cream tea with clotted cream and jam. It's so peaceful when the planes aren't flying over. Oh no! I forgot to put a strawberry in my drink. Let's do the other can. Just for the strawberry. Oh yeah, that's pretty. That's what I had in mind. Strawberry wine. Hello. You know what? I don't think I should drink the rest of this right now. I can't handle it. Really. Can't handle my drink. It's because I hardly ever drink. I've got such a low tolerance for alcohol now. Because I'm practically teetotal. Because I thought it was stopping me sleeping. But it turns out I just can't sleep regardless. Most of the time, so. Bottoms up. That's one of my 5 a day right there. Actually, I think that's all of my 5 a day right there. I have decided to have my cream tea without the tea. This is the tea. I've got milk in a tiny flask. I'll have that later. I don't want to set a bad example and be using stoves when slightly inebriated. So I'll have a cream tea with my 5-a-day wine. Be like being at Wimbledon. Okay. Tell me, is it a scone or a scone? Oh yeah, that's another area of contention, isn't it? What goes on first? The cream or the jam? I personally like to dump a load of cream on it and then top it off with jam. Doof. It's not as beautiful as I was hoping. Stick a strawberry on it, make it look really good. It's gonna be freaking delightful. Let's try it. That's really good. Right, I'm gonna have this and then I'm gonna sit and have a word for myself. I hope you enjoyed my little picnic. I did. And I've got loads left for my second dinner about midnight. Come here, strawberry. God, I just remembered I haven't sorted out the thumbnail for this video and it's gonna get dark soon. Let's do one now. In the hammock, because this video is about hammock camping. I'm in the hammock. I've got the remains of my picnic in view. Nice smile. Oh, so thumbnail. Oh, that's better. Right. Pull yourself together. Well, I think it's going to be time to turn the fairy lights on soon. It's going to be so pretty. This is going to be spectacular. We'll have a special light switch on at dusk. Yes. Right. It's time for the dramatic light switch on. Oh, that's actually really nice. Let's put them on static. Oh, I love it! How cozy. It's really comfy in here. I'm just gonna wait here till it gets dark, have a swing, and then I'm gonna make a cup of tea to have with the rest of my cream tea, because I only had half of it earlier. I think I'm able to do that now. Use the stove responsibly. Yeah. Right, it is 9:30. That was a nice swing in there. So comfy, and I think I'm gonna have a really nice night in there. Sorry about being such a lightweight earlier. I think I've had one of those cans a few times when filming my camps, but I think today was the first time that I had two. And as you can see, very cheap date indeed. But now it's time for tea. A nice cup of tea. Finally a sensible drink. I think I'm gonna finish this and then we'll go for a little wander, have a little look around camp in the dark, see if we can see anything. I'll show you my sleep system and then it's time for bed. Oh, look at that big old dead tree with the moon above it. That's pretty spooky and cool. Right, here's my bed tonight. No sleeping mat because I'm using the under blanket to keep my butt nice and warm. I've got my spring, autumn kind of sleeping bag, that's my Leviathan, in a bivvy bag in case it rains. And if it does rain, I'm out of luck really because my tarp's there. Never mind, I really don't think it's going to rain tonight, but anyway, the bivvy bag will keep the majority of the rain off me, and my big floofy pillow that I love. Yeah, well comfy. Alright, I'm going to chill for a bit and then I'm going to go to bed. Morning. It is an absolutely beautiful morning in the woods. It's gorgeous. It's nearly 13 degrees already. I slept for I reckon 6 or 7 hours last night. Really nice. It's just heavenly. I'm really struggling to get up this morning though. I feel like I could just lay here all day. Perfection. Also warm and cozy. Listening to the birds. I mean, I don't do a lot of hammocking because I find it faffy and annoying and I'm not very good at it, but my god, it's comfy. So good. And I didn't fall out, so that's always a bonus. You know, I still haven't seen a single person since I got here. No dogs. So this little bit of woods might be quite a find actually, if you don't mind the planes. I saw a deer over there earlier. It was quite far away, but I think it was too big to be a muntjac, so maybe a roe. I can just see the shimmering purples of the bluebells over there in the sunlight. I'm gonna have another cream tea for breakfast because why not? But I'm really, really loving this shelter right next to my hammock. It's really made it for me. I was gonna just go tarpless because, like I said, I like to just lay in a hammock and look at the trees, and I did that for hours this morning, but it's so nice to also have this right here next to it. It just feels really, really cozy and homey. Yeah, I think this is my favourite hammock camp yet actually. One last swing. I'm really struggling to get going today. And I don't know if it's because of those two tiny fizzy wines or just because it's so beautiful. I think this is the first time this year that I've been immersed in so much green. The ground is carpeted in green, the canopy is green, and I think we're so lucky in this country to be surrounded by so much green lushness. I feel a little sad to be packing this one away, but thank you guys so much for coming along with me for another night in the woods. I hope you're having a beautiful week wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.